I spent hundreds of hours building and planning voice AI solutions, and I spent a good time of that prompting. So today I will teach you my ultimate voice AI prompting techniques so that your AI never goes off script and always gives good and reliable answers. Let's go. I'm first gonna start with the agenda. We are briefly going to talk about what is a prompt and how to write good ones, and obviously what is prompt engineering. Then I'm just going to briefly go over why you should break your prompts into sections, then a specific 6-step framework, and then a bonus you definitely do not want to miss. What is a prompt? A prompt is an input text or query that is given to an LLM to generate a response. And the prompt serves as a guide instructing the LLM what kind of output is expected. For example, tell me about the history of the Roman Empire. That's a really simple prompt. And yeah, there are some rules to guide you through the prompting process and how they can be good, which is be clear and specific, provide context, use examples if needed, and define the output format. Now, what is prompt engineering? Prompt engineering is the practice of designing and refining prompts to optimize the responses generated by the LLM. Now, why should you break your prompts into sections? There are a few reasons for that, which is it improves clarity, it improves the quality of the responses generated, it improves the accuracy of the responses generated, and it also improves the relevance of the prompts generated. And to break your prompts into sections that actually work and that actually improve your output from the AI, there is a 6-step framework for perfect prompts, which is first, define the role of the AI, then provide context for the AI, define the task, then build dynamic branching with conditions, use variable blocks for personalization, and set specific AI behaviors. And in a second, we're going to do a deep dive into each of these sections. But before we do so, I have prepared a custom GPT, which is specifically for voice AI prompting. So if you click on the first link in the description down below, you will be redirected to my resource hub. In that, you can find the link to the GPT, and the GPT just walks you through the 6-step process, step by step. You just give it the information that you want to have inside of the prompt, and then it will completely generate the prompt as it should be. If you want to, you can refine it further. If you want to, you can tell the GPT to refine it further. As I've said, first link in the description down below. Grab it, it's completely for free, so you can have the best prompts possible. Let's get into it. First, defining the role. What are we going to do here? We are assigning a specific role or persona to shape response style and expertise. In that way, the AI will behave like a specialist. Why would we do that? We want to ensure that the responses match the expected tone and expertise, and this also helps produce more relevant and authoritative answers, and it reduces ambiguity in responses by aligning AI's knowledge with a defined role. Next, we want to provide context. Context gives background information so the AI can understand the whole scenario, audience, and your prior information to base its generated answers off of. Why would we do that? We want to prevent vague or incomplete answers, and this also helps us tailor responses to a specific audience, and it ensures continuity if responses depend on previous prompts. Next up, defining the task. Obviously, the AI wants to know what it should do, and therefore we should clearly state what you want the AI to do, including expected format, style of language, and or level of detail. Why should we do that? This helps the AI focus on the task instead of generating a broad, unstructured response. Obviously, we want to have a specific response, and for that, we have to define the task clearly. And it ensures that responses meet your expectations regarding depth, format, and clarity. And it eliminates the need for multiple refinements because obviously, when our voice AI agent talks to somebody and he or she poses a question, they don't want to pose the question several times. They just want a specific, correct answer right away. And we, as the business owners, need to ensure that the answers are as good as they can. And for that, we have to clearly define the task. Next up, build dynamic branching with conditions. We want to introduce conditional logic here to make AI adapt based on prior input or scenario. You set conditions that influence how the AI responds. Why would we do that? we want to enable adaptive responses based on the input of the user. It helps the AI to handle multiple scenarios in one prompt, and it improves the conversation flow and decision making. This comes in handy when you have several decision paths a lead, for example, can go through. For example, if you have an inbound assistant, you can either have book a call, you can have a Q&A, or you can have a call escalation to a real person. And obviously, we want the AI to tell when should they route to which route. And for that, we need to build conditional logic. Next up, we want to use variable blocks for personalization. This allows you to insert personalized details such as name, email address, etc. And we want to do this because it creates a more interactive and engaging experience. And this makes the caller not feel like he's talking to a generic bot because the answers seem to be tailored instead of generic. And that's also one of the last things we want is to let the caller feel like they're talking to a generic bot because the AI is capable of way, way more. And we want to address them by their first name. If we want to book an appointment with them, in the best case, already want to know their email address. And this all just makes this feel seamless, and the customer has just a better experience. And at the end of the day, a better experience for them will drive more revenue for us. Next up, we want to set specific AI behavior rules. Here, you define how the AI should behave and what rules it should follow. And this prevents undesired outputs and responses. It ensures that the AI follows ethical and business guidelines, and this controls the output and additional rules you want the AI to follow. So, this is basically you have the whole prompt, and at the end, you have a small section with a few rules that you set in place that the AI should follow in order to meet your standards and your criteria. And yeah, that's that for the 6-step framework. Next up, I have the bonus tip for you. And the bonus tip is about negative prompting. Negative prompting means telling the AI what it should not do instead of what it should do. And this can actually lead to unpredictable or lower quality answers, and therefore we want to avoid negative prompting. Telling the AI what not to do might be confusing because then it has to decide what the response should be. And when being told what to avoid, it may focus on that instead of the actual quality of the content. And therefore, we want to include positive prompting. Positive prompting gives you more control by steering the LLM into the right direction and by being clearer, more structured, and this leads to the best possible answer. And this negative prompting or just positive prompting, as we've just learned, is most important in the behavior rules we set at the end of the prompt because oftentimes people will just put negative things in there like do not do XYZ. And we want to avoid that. Instead, we want to encourage the opposite with positive language. So the AI has better instructions and we directly put them into the right direction. Yeah, with that, we'll go to the prompt example so you can actually see what I mean. As you can see, first we are defining the role on top of here. You are agent name, a warm and friendly AI assistant for clinic name, specializing in scheduling dental appointments. Here we clearly define the role. We give a variable here as the name of the agent. You can also put just an agent name in here, and here you will put the clinic name. The context is you are making an outbound call to patient name, a previous patient who hasn't visited in months since last visit. So in the context, we tell the AI why it actually calls the patient, and we dynamically put in the patient name and also how many months it has been since they last visited the clinic. And then we define the task. Your goal is to schedule a quick checkup with doctor name. Ensure patient name understands the importance of preventative care. So here we are telling the AI what it should do, which is scheduling a checkup, and we also dynamically insert the doctor name and the patient name again. And then we have the conditional logic. If R agrees, which is R is the patient in this case, so if the patient agrees to scheduling the call, it says here proceed to scheduling. If R is hesitant, you can mention the doctor's name again, with a recommendation and try to get them to actually agree. And if R declines, the AI will offer a follow-up call later. And then we have the variable blocks down here again. And then in the last bit here, we have specific instructions, which would be the behavior rules we talked about earlier, which is ask only one question at a time. If R is confused, rephrase and clarify. And if voicemail is detected, end the call immediately. And as you can see, there's no negative language in here. We only use positive languages. For example, in the first question, we could have said that they shouldn't ask two questions at a time, but as we discovered, it's better to just say them to ask one question at a time by using positive language. And with that, we are finished with everything for the voice AI agents and prompting them. And if you got value from this video, definitely like it, subscribe to this channel to not miss any future videos. You can also leave a comment and tell me what you want to hear. Now, if you want to build a voice AI solution for your business and you're not quite sure if you can manage that, you can check out the other videos on my channel, or you can go to the second link in the description down below, schedule a call directly with me, and me and my team will come in and build the solution for you. And if that's something you would be interested in, go and check out the second link in the description. And with that, I'm gonna see you in the next video. Bye bye.